sly grin. Picks apart the cases where the truth's been thin. Sharp tongue firing like a rebel's hell. Justice served with a snarky spin. Nick's got the mic and is breaking it down. Lego chaos spinning all around. Laughing at the lies at the courts of crown. Riding the edge where truth is found. Coffee's cold but the witch stays hot. Poking at the holes in the legal plot. With a tilt of the glass he connects the dots. The courtroom's wild and he calls the shots. Nick's got the mic and is breaking it down. Lego chaos spinning all around. Laughing at the lies at the courts of crown. Riding the edge where truth is found. Electric strums echo through the air. Justice tangled in a legal snare. With a grin, he tears it bare. No nonsense talk for those who care.
Dun dun. Well, no, crap. There I am. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Oh, what a weekend! What a weekend! I attended my godson's wedding on Saturday, and it was amazing. It was way up north. Way up north. To give you an example, let's see here. I started driving Thursday for 6 hours. Then I stayed at a place, and then Friday I drove for an additional 6 hours north. Now on the way back, I was lucky because there was two others in another car that was heading down south. So we alternated. So we two cars. So we drove for alternating in 2 hour shifts. So you drove for 4 hours, rested 2 hours. So we did that all the way down. And so that was good. Oh, yes, I posted a nature pic. Let's see if I can get that thing up for you guys. Here it is. Dun 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 dun. Share. Yeah, so it was on the way to what you would call a cliff church. Let's see if I can find that as well, so you can get a notion about how it looked. Dun, dun, dun. Open. So while we so after that picture, I turned my camera up towards where this cliff church was, and it was, as you see, the people up there. So when I say it was a cliff church, it was, yeah, an actual cliff church. So up there, you had, they actually, in this nature formation, that is, probably happened back during the last ice age. They decided a number of years ago, maybe a century, more than a century ago, to make that into a church. So this, more or less. So it was. There's always a cross there. Now they change it from time to time, but you bring up your own equipment. You book it. You bring your equipment, and then they had the wedding right there. So in front of that cross, they said their vows to each other. It was very successful. Both said yes, and it was glorious. And we had so much fun. Now, due to privacy reasons, no actual pictures from the ceremony. That's just the way it's going to be. But it was extremely. I'm so happy for them. I am so happy for them. So this weekend, amazing. So thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much. I hate driving. I need a driver, and I'll go anywhere. All right. Well, as Wendy here said, what's going on next week on this channel? And Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, interview with Aidan Carney, also known as Turtle Boy. Dave, and it's the origins of this is that Dave, Valhalla Waits, and Wendy, they hold on Saturdays. Usually, they do these Lego interviews with different people. So this time we thought combining it, because Aidan is extremely busy. So this time a Monday, and so we will build a Lego set and talk with Aidan Kearney. So it will be amazing. Absolutely, I think it will be successful. It's a completely different format than any other type of interview, and it's been really fun to have. I've been interviewed on it, and a lot of others have been interviewed on there. And on Monday it's time for Turtle Boy, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is 2 a.m. my time. So what's going to happen? I got home less than an hour ago, so I just freshened up. I thought, let's update you guys, because I need to wind down a bit, and then I'll get a few hours of sleep. I go to work tomorrow morning, get home, and then I will hopefully have an extended nap of sorts. But then tomorrow, it's a Brian Walsh hearing, where reportedly former Trooper Proctor has to take the stand, because they want to have everything he did in the Brian Walsh case. They want it ejected, because he'd been fired because of misconduct. So so that will be interesting tomorrow. I'm depending on what time that starts. I will either do a recap of it, or if I wake up in time, I will do it live, because I have so much snark bottled up for that piece of human garbage. It will be amazing. Hopefully, I can get that stream not demonetized, but it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be hilarious, and a good wind up towards the Aidan interview tomorrow at 8. So, I mean, the amount of snark, the amount of words I've been waiting to unload on that lies in the shape of a human. Yeah. Yeah, there. So yeah, so tomorrow, Monday, will be, well, Massachusetts, a Massachusetts special, so to speak. Then the rest of the week, folks, I said this last week, I believe. We have the Delphi transcripts. We have the Delphi transcripts. Here they are. Volume 1 to 21. Volume 1 is just the table of contents. So we will skim through that. We will skim through that on Tuesday. So, I mean, it's 40. The table of contents is 41 pages. 41 pages. Then volume 2 is record of initial hearing, where this is when he was arrested, his first hearing. Defendant appears pro se, meaning he does not have an attorney anymore. And here's what I find peculiar, because volume 3 is I have to go back to volume 2. This is the charging hearing. And here, all of a sudden, November 22nd, 2022, appearances. Here, all of a sudden, it's Bradley Rossi, Andrew Baldwin. Now here they are. Here they are. Which means there is one missing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry. Okay, let's. I didn't have it up. I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ. All right, let's start over. Volume 1, 41 pages of table of content. Volume 2 starts off with the initial hearing, October 28th, 2022. And defendant appears pro se, meaning he does not have an attorney yet. Well, and I will go through that with you on Tuesday. Problem here is record of proceeding, November 22nd, 2022. Here we have Bradley Rossi, Andrew Baldwin, which means there is one transcript missing. And which one is that? It is his protection. It's a ex parte protection hearing where Rick wasn't there. The attorney Kathy hired was not aware of it. This is when he went from jail to prison. This was entirely an ex parte hearing in front of Judge Diener. So Judge Diener was the initial one who first, you're under, here's the bond, Then he had this protection hearing for Rick's own good, so to speak, which was, in my opinion, completely illegal. First of all, you do not have ex parte meeting. We're talking about the safety of the defendant without the defendant. That in itself shows this was so rotten from the very start. Now, there is mentions of it in other places, but there's a lot of pre-trial transcripts that simply those are not available yet. We are chasing them. We are chasing them. Hi, Brooklyn. How did you get the transcripts for free? We weren't supposed to. We weren't supposed to get them for free. Ty from Criminality sent off the cashier's check for 5,000 and some change, because that is the quota. Well, the quota was 4,600, but once we got the actual number, it was over $5,000 for the transcripts. But then another clerk of the court decided to, no, for unknown reasons, decided to just decided to release it. We don't know why. I have no idea why. But they were released for free, which is amazing. Now, if you were in that stream, that the fundraising stream, if you now want your money back, contact Criminality. Try on Criminality. I will leave contact information tomorrow in the description to this stream. Though that the money that is not, so to speak, returned, with conversation between the fundraisers and the people around Rick, we will decide where is that money supposed to go. My hope is that it can be placed in escrow, because in a few years, if everything goes as we hope, that he will get a new trial, he will need all the money to defend himself in court. Because unless Judge Gull has retired, which we hope, or are elected out, she will be the one in that trial as well. He will need everything. So that is one of my hopes. But it might, since it's going to be a number of years, they might decide it goes on his books, so he can have something in prison while awaiting a retrial, awaiting the appeal. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Tammy. So yeah, so this is more or less what is going to happen in the next, well, the coming week, probably next few weeks. I'm going to go through the transcripts. I hope you will still be here. I might start with the sidebars. I will do a few streams where I go through these or the up until trial. But then once we get to trial, because people have already started, I want to see what actually happened at the sidebars. What were we denied at all to hear? So that is probably something I will do. But sooner or later, I will have gone through all of the trial transcript with you guys. I might join other streams where we do a live reading of it or something of the sort. I don't know yet. I haven't had the time yet to make up plans. But hopefully that is where we will go with that one. Then, of course, we still have the Adelson trial coming up. We have the YNW Melly. There are going to be hearings, so it will be a lot of Delphi trial transcript, but I still have the other things, the Brian Walsh hearing tomorrow, if there will be more Brian Walsh hearings, the Adelson hearings, the YNW Melly hearings. So it won't be only Delphi content. next few weeks. Hi, Jennifer. Sorry if you answered it, but why do you think Rick got transferred to Oklahoma? I've heard different theories and people who claim they are in the know. I don't know. The Oklahoma site where he's been transferred to has been used to evaluate for psychological reasons. So it might be one of those that he can't get the help, the mental help he needs in Indiana. So Oklahoma might be one of these places where they claim they can help him better. But I don't know why. I honestly do not know why. Because unless his family moves to Oklahoma, how are they going to try to visit him? I mean, that's a hell of a trip to try to just to meet him once a week or a couple of times a month. I've heard that he wanted to go to Gen Pop, and he can't do that in Indiana, but hopefully outside of Indiana, his name won't be as known. So that's that. Now, one thing that let's see, what else was on my thumbnail? Here's the thing. There's a bunch of us at the moment. This is not on the thumbnail. It won't be on the thumbnail. We have found a fuzzy connection between Michael Fosler and the Delphi case. Michael Fosler is the 67-year-old who got killed after he groomed, kidnapped, and assaulted a 14-year-old girl. Her dad found out, got there, pulled the car over, and killed the guy. Because Michael Fosler is from, let's see so I don't get, is from Hamlet, Indiana. Hamlet, Indiana is 80 minutes from Delphi, Indiana. 80 minutes from Delphi, Indiana. He is from a prominent Freemasons family. Order of the Eastern Star. Prominent family, generational Freemasons family out of Hamlet, Indiana. He is a former law enforcement officer in Hamlet, Indiana in the 1980s. Probably had a good career in front of him. And then, he quit, joined the army, and, well, moved out of Indiana, just like that. We also found out through the guy who shot and killed Fosler. His wife has been in contact with a few people. Now, she's obviously busy with trying to save her husband's life. But the information we have so far is that Michael Fosler back in the 1980s liked to hang around high schools. Very much. He was so much at high schools looking for 13, 14, 15-year-old girls, middle school, high schools, that people thought he was a school resource officer. But no, he was actually a law enforcement officer. But it seems like all he did was to hang around schools. Now, what is then, 80 minutes from Delphi, Indiana? That's not a real connection. Fosler is a name of German origin. Another name of German origin is Klein. Remember Keegan Klein, who groomed one of the girls in the Delphi case? His dad seems to have been involved in that grooming. His dad is the same age as Michael Fosler. They lived an hour apart. So all of a sudden, here you have okay, now we are still in the information gathering, in information gathering. We are still just give all the information. So we sooner or later can, instead of fuzzy connections, we can have direct connection. But back in the 1980s is when the concept of PDF file rings occurred. So the odds of two people near each other, same age, grooming the same age group of minor girls, not being connected. But we are still in the information gathering, and we will be for some time. So, and yeah, there's a bit to now, as I said, it's loose connections, fuzzy connections, but we still have this absolute shitfest of people from prominent Freemasons families who seem to have a similar interest in minor girls. I mean, the connections here are, they are starting. It can still be a complete nothing burger. It might turn out to be absolutely nothing. I don't think so. I think if we dig enough, we will find out more things. But that is where we are right now. We are starting to find. There are parallels, as Jennifer says. The parallels are striking. And here's another thing with Michael Fosler, because we found his parents and grandparents. Not only were they involved in the Order of the Eastern Star, or whatever it's called, they are also involved in something that used to be called, or it still is called, what was it? Fellows of the Moose. It was a really, really stupid name. But back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, was more or less a branch of the Klan. Delphi, Indiana, 1987 was the last known Klan rally in Delphi, Indiana. 1987. Can we find Michael Fosler in that rally together with the Delphi Freemasons? It's not impossible. So there's another connection. And again, these are fuzzy connections, but it's starting to pile up to be a bit too much, because in those things, all of a sudden an article shows up that is from, I believe, 2015, 2016, something of the sort, where there was a rally with Vinlanders in Delphi, and all of a sudden the name Patrick Westphal shows up. In that rally was also people from Freemasons. There's a bit too many parallels. But again, it's still fuzzy. It still might just be absolutely nothing. We are still in the information gathering phase here. But we've just done this for a few days. The moment I saw that Michael Fosler was from Hamlet, Indiana, and I looked and saw how close it was to Delphi, Indiana, then I found he was from a prominent Freemasons family. It might. I have to say this. It might turn out to be absolutely nothing, but I don't think so. I do not think it will end up in nothing. There's too much information telling me it's just a matter of time before we find the direct connections between the Keegans, the Foslers, and the Delphi Freemasons. So those are the few things that is next week and the coming weeks up until I travel to the United States, where I go to Utah first and then down to Miami. Tomorrow, the Brian Walsh hearing, the Aidan Carney interview, the Lego interview. Then it will be a whole lot of Delphi transcripts. And and of course, we have a few Brian YNW Melly hearings up until the trial starts. If it starts September 10th, we have a few more hearings in the Adelson case. Sarah, what would be the significance of them being Freemasons? The significance is a protection. For instance, you have this, as in Michael Fosler, he was a child of a prominent Freemasons family, a very powerful family from Hamlet, Indiana, who liked hanging around schools. And all of a sudden, at age 67, he's caught grooming, raping, kidnapping a 14-year-old girl. He didn't start with that at age 67. He was doing this in Hamlet, Indiana. I can bet money. That is why he suddenly left a good career as a cop and just took off. Problem is, this is in the 1980s. The people who were around then might not be around now. There might not be much left. There might not be traces left. So, if anybody from Hamlet, Indiana just happened to stumble upon this stream, chances are unlikely. If you are a woman who were a teenager in the 1980s in Hamlet, Indiana, and you were subjected to then officer Michael Fosler, you need to tell an attorney or contact let's see here, Mr. Spencer's Aaron Spencer's defense attorney. Tell them what you know about Officer Michael Fosler He was a police officer in Hamlet, Indiana in the 1980s. That might save him because they have charged him. The scenario is he discovers that his 14-year-old daughter has been groomed, kidnapped, and raped by Michael Fosler. He chases them down, shoots and kills. And they charge him. For me, it is a case of defense of others. Was she in direct lethal danger? Yeah, she was groomed, kidnapped, and raped. For me, now, legally, you have to get there somehow. But the more information Aaron Spencer's defense attorneys have on Michael Fosler, the greater the chance is that this will never go to trial. And we will get, hopefully in return, all the information we need to make the connections between Michael Fosler, the Kleins, and the Delphi case. Hopefully. But we as I said, we are in the information gathering stage of this. But that is what's going on. Now it is midnight where I am. My phone starts ringing in just over 4 hours. I need to get to bed. I had a great weekend at my godson's wedding. I'm home. And now let's get to work, folks. Now let's get to work. All right. So this was a shorter kind of stream just to make everybody up to date on what's been going on. All right, folks. You all have a good one. Hug your family. Unless they are crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. I will see you back here tomorrow for the Brian Walsh hearing and later for the interview with Aidan Carney. Everybody have a good one. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. See ya. Bye-bye.
Dr. Turtle Boy walks the line, truth in his hands. Fingers point at shadows, he's breaking their plans. Corrupt suits in the courthouse playing their game. But the lies they sling won't tarnish his name. They try to bury him, but he won't go down. Fighting for justice in every crooked town. Dr. Turtle Boy standing tall in the fight. Truth's his weapon shining through the night. Bogus charges flying, but they can't stick. He's cutting through the darkness, sharp and quick. The gavel pounds, but his voice won't break. No matter how much they take and fake, they try to bury him, but he won't.